need the whole left side. Every seat by the window, I need the whole back of the bus. Everybody, move over. You too, slide your feet over. Everything by this window, I need this. All these seats. Move over, thank you. Excuse me, thank you. Look. He deserve an EGOT, he hot, colored like a peacock. Idiot, slapper, scrapper, mad rapper, D-dot. Bad dopper, clapper, bad rapper. 3 shots, lethal weapons, lethal injections through off your T-top. JFK smiling down through the treetops. Like hold your head, my nigga, wait for the beat drop. Old niggas wagging fingers like it's bebop. Cowboys and girls whistling world like it's teapots. My pen to make your arm heavy G-shot. While your mom trolling steady on the G. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Lights up, mics up, get them likes up, hit that subscribe. How we doing? Good morning. Good morning. I think we in. I think I'm in. It feels like I'm in. Let me know. What's good, Jinxie? Positive vibes. What's going on, Diego? Silver Fern. How we looking? Smoke with me, 1988. 88 was a very good year, gang. I'm just going to be honest. 88 was a very good year. Zero Burn, 52. Dave G. Positively Pepper Jones. Love that name. Rizzo. P&W Nisha. Listen, good morning. Hey now. Hey now. Him. What's good? Journey in the building, baby sis. How the vocals sound, gang? How we looking? We good on the vocals? We good? Big Bone Dre, Toy, Butterfly Collections. Diego said, I watched Michael with my parents on Father's Day. That movie is the greatest movie I ever watched. Michael is a really good movie. Really, really good movie. I 100%, I'm going to be honest, I thought they were going to mess Michael up. When I first heard about Michael, I thought they were going to mess it up. But they didn't. They did a really good job. His nephew, I believe, what's the nephew name? I can't remember offhand. The nephew who played him, immaculate performance, right? End of the day, great movie. Great. Like, listen, you were there. Like, even if you were there, it still felt like you learned something. Right? You learned something. And it was a great movie. Salute to the people in the chat. Let me see. What Equals is in the chat. Chris Man, Priscilla, Smoke with Me, 95 plus. All right. So listen, I don't know. Before we get started, I don't know if y'all saw my video last night. I posted a video last night. It was just a little something just to update you guys on what's going on, right? Jafar's the nephew. Salute to Rizzo. Smoke with Me. Jafar, his nephew, did a great job. I really thought they were going to mess this thing up. Michael's really hard to get, man. He's really hard to get down pat. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Michael is really hard to get. And they got it. But I don't know if you see in the chat, they got justice for Charles Brown. Gang, listen, I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. I did a video last night. Nothing too crazy, but I just wanted to update y'all on what's going on. Homeboy from Twitter. Well, I get awful comments. I've been getting awful comments for over 2 years on Twitter. They get really mean and obnoxious, and that's okay. That's what Twitter's for. Twitter's an awful place. It's very toxic. It's almost like evil, gang. They're real evil over there. But this isn't the first time somebody wished my cancer had taken me out. I've done that before. I've heard that probably over 20, 30 times. That's not new, right? But I did want to show you guys that it's real when I tell you that they do that. But then the one that got me yesterday, when I went on my Twitter, I put a video up last night. It says they want DJ Akademiks, and I said they want Akademiks to smear my name, right? If you watch that video, you'll see one of the Drake guys, he added Akademiks and Akademiks TV. And he said, get all the dirt you can on this guy, and we will post it. We got to get him out of here, right? He literally laid out a whole smear campaign for the world to see, and he added these two guys on it. And it's letting you know that they're getting serious with this. They want me out of here. Guys are telling me to pull up, drop the location, all this stuff just because I report on the Drake, different things about Drake. And they call it Drake hate. They call it misinformation. I'm literally reading from documents, gang, but to them it's Drake hate, it's misinformation, it's grifting. They got to find ways to cope, right? They got to find ways to cope with what I'm doing. All I'm doing is reading what your guy's doing, gang. You need to be getting at him. They're never mad. I actually did a video. They're never mad at this guy. Salute to London in the building. I'm on my way to London real soon. So they don't get mad at this guy for doing the nonsense, right? They don't get mad at him. They get mad at me for reporting on it and others, right? Jalopy and Jay Nolan and Quality, the different people who report it, right? They give people the business. They give people hell. Rob Marksman gets hell for no reason, and Company Man, they can't stand him. All we do is report the news, right? But they wishing death on me, and they want Akademiks and Akademiks TV to find, quote unquote, dig up all his dirt, we'll repost it. So he's basically saying, if you start the smear campaign, we will support it and post it everywhere. They're already doing that though, right? This is a guy, he took a video of me saying, I said, I don't apologize for eating off Drake. I'll eat off this guy for the end of time. I don't care. This is my job, right? So he took that, clipped it up, and put that on Twitter. So now every other day they're posting that clip. So that right now, that's what they're doing. They're using that clip to try to somehow shame me out of doing what I do. But I stand on that clip. Homeboy, he's a fan of the show, but he kind of took a turn. In the last 6 months, he's been trying to come at me because of we were going to do the blackout. We were going to do the blackout of Iceman, and he was like, "You guys, I told you guys were lying." Da, da, da. So he's got it up in his ass ever since Iceman dropped that he's going to prove that we are hypocrites because we didn't do the blackout of Iceman, which we never said we weren't ever going to talk about Iceman. We said we weren't. Jalopy was asking reactors to not react to it since he put reactors in the lawsuit. Homeboy can't see that, so all he's doing is, you know what I mean? He's trying to find, he's going through all my old videos. Homeboy went to a video from 10 months ago, found the clip and clipped it up, right? So it's like, it's already begun. The smear campaign already begun. So I'm used to this, but I'm just showing you that now they want the big dogs. They want the dogs with money to start to find and dig and try to find stuff like they did with Charlemagne and this, that, and the third. So they're trying to make it where, okay, now let's get some real muscle behind this thing to get this guy out of here. Because the video he responded to was me reading literally the documents from Akademiks TV getting served. I read that and it was plain as day of what it was. And I guess this stuff is getting a little too close to home. All right. We're going to get to the Spotify thing. And that's what they did. I was minding my business. I went on Twitter again, of course, and somebody added me, said, I wonder how Charles Brown is going to spin this. I'm like, spin what? I'm going to spin. What am I going to spin the lawsuit for? It's a lawsuit. It was, okay. Let me get here. Let me get there. Let me get there. Let me get to the lawsuit, right? Spot the doc already on it. Important thing to note is in the lawsuit, in the Spotify lawsuit, is that Drake isn't named as a defendant, just that Spotify is enabling the botting to occur. Okay, so that's what it is. Now, they're equating that to Drake because they did use Drake as an example, okay? So people are saying that you guys failed. Where are the K-bots? Because somehow, some way, this absolves Drake of botting, right? Mind you, Spotify is not going to be brought down just so we can say Drake was botting, right? So, end of the day, and I told you, I very rarely, you're gonna have to scour my shit for me to be. You might hear me say once that, okay, we know Drake bots. Other than that, I don't go on, because first of all, it's we can all believe that, but I'm not going to sit here. I don't have no actual. I can't prove it. Just like when Drake put bots in the lawsuit, he can't prove it. Nobody can prove it, right? You can look at the data and you can say this, that, and the third, but nobody can actually prove it. So I don't go around spouting, I can prove that Drake bots or this, that, and the third. But you can see the results. And that's where we're coming from with this conversation. You can see the results. You can see a lot of fishy things for a long time with this particular artist, right? And this is where we are. So I want to talk about this first case, this botting case. We're going to get to that. A lot of Drake fans are feeling that he has been absolved because the case was dismissed. So let's get into this Drake lawsuit has been dropped. We're going to talk about this Spotify botting situation, all right? That's the first story we got on the blocks this morning. On the blocks. That is on the blocks. So we're going to read this, have a conversation, okay? And Jinxie's right. Spotify can't afford to pay damages. They are just now turning a profit. I think they will fight tooth and nail. There's a lot going on with these lawsuits. Have a lot on the line. So these companies with a lot of money are not going to lose this. And RBX being in the front of this lawsuit, all of that was going to play a part in that thing not going too far. Okay, I knew it was flimsy I knew it was flimsy when he dropped it, but we reported it anyway. And a lot of the Drake fans took it as, you guys failed and you were all over this. Nah, I wasn't going around all over this case, gang. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't do a lot of talking. I don't know if these guys know how actually intelligent I am. I wasn't putting my hopes and dreams on this case, gang. Just so you know. Proving bots in court is going to be almost next to impossible because there's going to be so many people fighting. There's going to be so many people fighting to make sure you can't prove it. Okay, there's a lot of money on the line to have this case thrown out. So let me read this article. Right, this is on hotnewhiphop.com by Alexander Cole. A federal judge dismisses the lawsuit alleging Drake benefited from Spotify bots. Right, it's not that Drake bought it; it's that he benefited. Okay, let's continue. RBX is a rapper. He is on the Dr. Dre album, I believe, the Chronic 2001, the second Chronic 2, the follow-up to the Chronic Classic. Both albums are classic, right? And RBX is one of the rappers on that Dr. Dre album. So RBX opened up a lawsuit. He didn't open it. He was added to it. So let me continue. RBX accused Spotify of allowing artists like Drake to benefit from bots. But now a judge is throwing the case out. Back in November, RBX, the cousin of Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, accused Spotify of allowing artists like Drake to benefit from bots. These accusations were leveled in a lawsuit that was not well received by the public at the time. Even the biggest Drake haters were confused by all of this. Now, let me just say this. RBX actually has a problem with Dr. Dre too. So RBX is kind of looked at as a guy, I'm just going to keep it a buck. He looks as a almost a bitter guy in a way. All right. So he's going to come off a little bitter. Right. So that's the first thing that's going on with this lawsuit. The messenger, the guy in the front of it, they're going to look at him in a way like, oh man, this dude is just bitter. His career ain't make it, da-da-da. So that's the first thing we got to deal with. Then the former Death Row Records artist claimed Drake and others were receiving billions of botted streams every single year. He claimed that these bots were hurting smaller artists who were being suppressed in the algorithm, which is true. It is absolutely true. It's not about Drake or anybody. It's about the bots being, they take away from the artists that are smaller because they take a bigger part of the pie. Quote, billions of fraudulent streams have been generated with respect to songs of the most streamed artists of all time, Aubrey Drake Graham, professionally known as Drake, RBX lawyers wrote at the time. According to Billboard, a federal judge has officially tossed out the lawsuit. Now RBX has 21 days to refile, or he can just forget about it altogether. Just last month, another similar lawsuit against Spotify was dismissed. This lawsuit accused Spotify of fabricating Drake's streaming success. This lawsuit had nothing to do with the one filed by RBX. There's several lawsuits. Two of the three that I had talked about last year, apparently two of those are dropped. Bots became, because it's hard to prove, gang. You really got to have concrete evidence. Bots became a huge point of contention during Drake's beef with Kendrick Lamar. At the time, some felt as though Kendrick was using bots. Meanwhile, others felt the same about Drake. This subsequently led to discourse about numbers and whether or not any of the Spotify statistics we see are authentic. Spotify has been cracking down on botted streams as of late, removing such streams from overall counts on the platform. Whether or not they can kill the use of bots remains entirely still remains to be seen. So let me just say a lot of things real quick. All right. Good morning, Dino. For one, we don't put a lot of, on this side, on the hip hop side, we don't put a lot of stock into the amount of streams in the first place, right? That streaming thing is something that the execs want to go up and the actual artist himself, We on the hip hop side, we want to know if you made a good hip hop record. So then when all this #1 streams, this time the stuff, this time the third became a big topic, we were looking at confused because it became a thing, right? Let's say it again. We know my guy Jay-Z is one of the ones, and 50 Cent is another one who ushered in this era. And Jay been around 30 years, gang, so we can't act like he wasn't there. Who ushered in this era of holding down the summer, top record of the summer, big records, big streams, big #1, this, that, and the third. So it became a thing where I'm bigger than all of y'all. I am Hova because I outsell all of you. I hold the summers down, 10 summers, da, da, da. So it became a really big thing to try to emulate success by having great record sales. So artists like, really good artists like OC and Black Moon and things of that nature, they're not going to get the shine because they can't get the record sales, even though record sales come from really good machines and really good radio. You get a lot of things that come with really big numbers. And if you're on a better machine, then you can probably have better numbers, right? So end of the day, we got to a point where it started to become all about numbers. And good artists like Ghostface and the Roots were making really good music, but they weren't getting numbers. So people started to write them off for the bigger artists. And rap, that's when rap became stagnant because it started to really look only for numbers. And some guys rose above that, like DMX, Ludacris, Nelly. Some guys were able to still put those numbers up, right? So end of the day, we've seen it progress, and they made a lot of money and it got bigger, and for a time it was good. Now with the streams, they can fake it to the point where it's almost, they got so many ways to fake the numbers that it's almost useless to put everything on. And yes, the numbers do matter to a degree, but it became a numbers chase. And that's why you see your guy, Drizzy, his music started to reflect that all he wanted was the numbers. And it became, we're losing artists to this numbers game. So we got to a point where it became, your artist wasn't viable unless he had numbers. And guys like Drake were able to rise to the top, quote unquote, because they were able to achieve these numbers under the UMG label, right? So it started to be like, all right, all that matters are numbers. And we started to rebel, and we started to figure out we can't even get in the conversation. Like Dot couldn't even be in the conversation until he started getting numbers. So then when he started getting numbers, they were clowning us for the numbers. So when he started getting numbers, we started to fight back by saying, well, look at Dot's numbers. Oh, now you guys care about numbers. It's a double-edged sword, right? It's like, we can sit there and talk about numbers all day. You guys can't match wits with us, da, da, da. As soon as we do, and we start saying, well, your numbers ain't, Dot doing those numbers too, or whoever, A$AP Rocky, whoever, then it's like, oh, now you care about numbers. You can't win with these guys, but this is where we are. So now with this situation, with this lawsuit, RBX dropped this lawsuit. Now that it's been dismissed, they're coming at they've been online for 2 days straight. Where the K-Boss? You guys are crickets, da da da. Well, for one, we didn't care about the case anyway. We already know what's going on. What's understood don't need to be explained. We don't need to sit here and clap our hands and stomp our feet about this case. I don't need to spit anything. First of all, it wasn't my lawsuit. Second of all, I knew the lawsuit was flimsy in the first place. I said they must have something other than what they're showing for this lawsuit. They got to have more information. I said, I'm going to let them do their case because they shouldn't have took it to court if they don't have that much going on. I said, so they sounded like they had solid proof. They looked like they knew where the bots were coming from. They knew the means and wheres of how they were getting the bots, right? So it looked like they knew what they were talking about. So I said, let me see what happens. I'm not going to sit here and go and put all my hopes and dreams on this case that we're going to finally get the answers to this Drake body situation, and for all intents and purposes, we're going to call them out and be able to pinpoint when, where, and how. It's way too much money on the line. A lot of people are in people's pockets. You'll never be able to really walk into a courtroom without facing heavy opposition from everybody in there, including the judge, right? So end of the day, nobody was putting all their hopes and dreams on this, but somehow, some way, I saw a video saying where the K-bots at. You guys were da 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 da. They're calling out the so-called K-bots. But gang, let's just say this. For one, the guy can refile. Like he can refile the shit. They didn't just like Aubrey case, right? So remember when Aubrey had a case, gang, and he got his shit dismissed? Well, he appealed it, right? He appealed it, and it happens. You don't. So basically, they're saying that he didn't bot because the case got dismissed. Well, and is that the same for his case too, right? all the stuff they said about UMG and Kendrick and this, that, and third, all the things in Aubrey's lawsuit. So that means all of that shit wasn't true either. So you guys got to be careful what you're saying, because now they're trying to say it's been proven that he didn't bot because the case got dismissed. Where are all UK bots now? So guess what? I guess that means the whole Drake lawsuit that got dismissed with prejudice, right? They dismissed that shit, right? So all he could do is appeal it, and that's it. An appeal you can't add no new information to an appeal. So that case dead in the water. He's paying for the lawyers for no reason, right? So at the end of the day, does that mean that he never got defamed? He never got called a pedo? UMG was never plotting against him? So these Drake fans got to understand, when they lock in on these things and they try to say, well, since the judge threw it out, then mean it's not real. So then we gotta go all the way with it. Then that means that whole lawsuit that he put out is not real either. All right. So I don't gotta spin it. It is what it is. Either the case was either flimsy, or they never really was going to let the shit go through the system anyway. So it's many ways to look at it. But at the end of the day, I didn't file the lawsuit. I wasn't hoping and dreaming and hoping and wishing and praying that anything happened with it. I just saw, like everybody else, that it got dismissed. Like, okay, well, that's unfortunate. It is what it is. Who cares? Whatever. RBX gonna have to refile or don't. But I'm not going around now. I feel like all of a sudden he didn't bother this, that, and the third. This thing has been called out so many ways, and there's only one person on the end of all these botting lawsuits in the first place. I don't see really nobody else. It's Spotify and Drake. It ain't really a whole lot of other people being dragged into these cases, right? So some people say where there's smoke, there's fire. And just because you couldn't catch the dude, you seem to know a whole lot about him, right? You seem to know a whole lot about the botter when they were looking for the botter, and you knew his name and everything. What's they Cujo? And homeboy ain't even just a botter like that. Homeboy like does mad executive shit. He does mad stuff, but they went after him, try to find him. The Drake lawsuit, they went after the so-called botter. They knew his name and everything. So kind of like where there's smoke, there's fire. You knew the botter, you knew how to find him, you knew his email. So end of the day, what we doing? The case was dismissed. Okay, we understand that. But at the same time, you guys knew a whole lot about the body. You knew way more than you wanted to disclose, because when they told you need more information about this body or we're going to drop it. So they ended up just dropping it out. But they put body in the original lawsuit. They put that they bought it. A dumbass number too, 50,000. Why would you waste time bodying? Why would you waste time bodying 50,000 on Not Like Us? Make that make sense. 50,000? Probably like one small town did that in like 10 minutes. Like 50,000? Like, you really think 50,000 it pushed the needle to that record to reach 1 billion streams? Like, what we doing, gang? It's silly. Quickie, sicky, sticky in the building. Yeah, I'm good, man. Like, listen, man, these guys, they're just really it's getting scary over there. They're getting scary for Ak. They're getting scary for Akademiks TV, aka the Grand Wizard Chat N-word, George Wynn, right? It's crazy. Diego said 50,000 was in my car alone. Diego made 50,000 streams by himself. I mean, what I'm talking about. Good Kid, Mad City is under Thriller for album chart performance, right? So, to the people on Twitter, that's like, I wonder how Charles gonna spin this. Charles ain't gotta spin it. It was a weak case apparently, and it got dismissed. Don't mean he didn't bot. And if cases getting dropped mean that's what it is, then guess what? Drizzy's case got dropped, right? So I guess none of that happened either. Wasn't a nefarious meeting between Lucien Grange and Kendrick to plot the demise of Drake, and he told him to call him a PDF, because that's what they were alleging. And they were alleging that he let him do it so he could devalue him. So none of that happened either. If that's the case, if a case get dropped, if that's what that means, then it is what it is. Journey said, I think I still owe Columbia House to this day. Me too. I got so many albums. I got albums on that wall behind me. The albums, the CDs on that wall behind me. I got Lauryn Hill up on that wall. I got Ghostface on that wall. A couple of those albums are from Columbia Music House. A couple of those albums on that wall are old. They came from Columbia Music House. I'm going to be honest with you. Toy Toy said, Drake's numbers are fake. I genuinely don't like people. I don't think people listen to him like that. Diego said Drake was projecting how much he's been plotting on Dot and everyone else. So the case got dismissed, gang. There is no spin. I don't have to spin it. It wasn't a case that was all that strong in the first place, but it was a case that they put the case before the judge, so we did report on it. But you didn't see me going around every week about that case, right? Once I reported on it, I moved on. All right, just like this one, right? I'm gonna talk more about this academics and music business, this, that, and the third, because Meek Mill is blaming Akademiks. I don't know if y'all heard about this. But Meek Mill, since all this stuff came out about Akademiks TV, running these smear campaigns and dropping all these different things on people. Well, Meek Mill is like, well, let me enter the chat, because he feels a way. He feels that Akademiks kind of mess his streaming up. He believes that 90%, 89 to 90% of his streams in 2024 dropped because of Akademiks. That's what Meek is trying to tell us. I'm gonna have this conversation, right? They still talking about Columbia Music House. Columbia House didn't care as long as you can sign your name. They were sending you CDs. That showed you how much them CDs was actually worth, gang. I'm gonna be honest. But the thing about Columbia Music House, they'll hit you with this crazy ass bill after a while, sooner or later. They will hit you with a crazy ass bill that you was like, yo, what? Them 12 CDs for a 1 cent thing? It's good for a minute, and then they hit you with this wild ass bill, and then now you owe a bill. $175 and stuff like that. Because you were in the Columbia Music House Club, remember? They charge you a credit card real quick. All right? But Meek Mill has a bone to pick because he thinks that Akademiks and Akademiks TV sabotaged him with their constant meandering on social media. Let me read this article. Meek Mill believes DJ Akademiks is responsible for a 90% decline in his streams. He took the X on Monday, where he theorized that his declining streams were a result of DJ Akademiks' hate campaigns. Meek Mill and DJ Akademiks have had their run-ins over the years. Almost 10 years ago, Akademiks vowed to stop posting Meek as the artist told him to quit doing so. Since that time, their relationship has remained icy at best. Right? This article is on Hot New Hip Hop, Alexander Cole. And you guys remember how bad it got with these two. Meek was talking about catching Akademiks. Meek team was trying to catch Akademiks. Oh yeah, they were trying to hurt. They were trying to hurt Akademiks. It got real bad. This is around the time Akademiks started trying to toughen up, because before all this, Ak was he was telling people, I am a sucker. I don't fight. I will tell the cops. I will run. I don't come outside. Akademiks, that was part of his quote unquote charm to people, because he wasn't a tough guy. He always acted appropriately, that I'm just a guy that lives in my mama's basement, and I don't ever try to do things outside to be tough. I'm scary, quote unquote. That was what he used to portray. I'm scary, right? But Ak started getting he started to get a little tougher when Meek started to make all these threats to him online. He started to really he looked kind of really like he wasn't even manly enough to deal with Meek. So he started getting tougher. I'm just going to be honest, right? Rainy Feather said, not Meek, I'd keep quiet if I were him. Diego said, the level of Weasel Ak has devolved to is beyond anything I've ever seen. That's facts. Well, let me continue. Over the past couple of weeks, Akademiks and his entourage have been under public scrutiny. For instance, the man behind Akademiks TV, George Wynn, has been accused of being a racist who launches hate campaigns against Black artists. Wynn also goes by the screen name Grand Wizard, which is a reference to the KKK. We don't talk about that enough. He named himself a KKK name, guys. He named himself a KKK name. Grand Wizard is a KKK moniker. Asian man decided to name himself that. All right, let me continue. When this got uncovered on X this week, Meek Mill chimed in with the question about Grand Wizard. Furthermore, he accused Akademiks of launching hate campaigns that led to a steep decline in his streams. Meek alleges his streams dropped 90% in 2024, although they have since stabilized. According to Claude, Akademiks is to blame for this. So Claude is a AI search engine like ChatGPT. Meek went on Claude and asked Claude right now. Mind you, Meek had to win last year. Say, I can't make this stuff up. Meek had said last year he was going to spend $100,000 to investigate why people associated him with Diddy. Right? He said this last year. He said, why do people keep trying to link me with Diddy? I got $100,000 if someone can track that down to where that rumor started. He said that. So now, I guess the $100,000 out the window. Now he's just going on Claude. And he used Claude to figure out why his streams went down. Claude researched and doubled back and did some backtracking. And according to Meek, landed on a guy named Grand Wizard. So Meek goes, who is Grand Wizard? I've been hearing about you for a minute. I've used Claude and real investigators to ask why my streams declined 89%, not normal in 2024. It pointed me to Akademiks campaign. Streams are back normal, by the way. Akademiks, we need answers. Tap in. Remember, I said we're going to follow everything because it's all documented on the net. So apparently Meek went and asked Claude, and Claude went backwards and found it was DJ Akademiks and Grand Wizard, right? Let me finish. It's a hefty accusation and one where Akademiks doesn't take lightly. Having said that, one has to wonder what Ak was doing that would cause 90% of Meek's fans to stop streaming his music. Numerous artists have gone through a streaming decline as of late. Only the artists at the very top have seen an increase in their numbers. That said, we await to hear what Akademiks himself has to say about this. So let me talk to Meek real quick. Let me talk to Meek real quick. And Meek came out with some really generous numbers for himself a few weeks ago about how much he's rebounded, how much millions he's made after someone said he was washed. So Meek has apparently made hundreds of millions of dollars after the battle. So he's not washed. His records have done platinum and this, that, and the third. Double platinum, according to Meek. But Meek, you didn't need Claude to tell you, right, that your streams went down. Yes, it was due to Akademiks to a degree. Akademiks had a real bad smear campaign against Meek Mill and others. But your association with Diddy and all them pictures of you in Diddy's pool has something to do with it. And you wearing matching outfits as Diddy has something to do with it, Meek. Just keeping it a buck with you, gang. You don't need no private investigator to see how you were linked with Diddy. We saw you in the pool. Somebody get in the comments and tell me if I'm wrong. We saw you in the pool. I believe he was calling you daddy or something like that. Okay, just keeping it 100%. So that kind of hurt, low key. Didn't make people want to stream your music. And yes, Akademiks did say some stuff, and they did tweet, and you were at war with them, gang. So that's the other thing these rappers don't understand. They go to war with a troll. You go to war with a troll who has amassed a certain amount of power. Yes, he can affect you. Why do you think Lil Baby's team paid him to not diss him when his album came out? Akademiks literally told himself. He said he said that Lil Baby's team paid him to lay off. Right? They paid him good money to lay off of Lil Baby when the record dropped. Because they couldn't need him. They didn't need him crashing out on Lil Baby, which he was surely going to do. So Ak took blood money to not say nothing bad about the guy. So you be thinking Akademiks is genuine with this stuff he comes out with. Akademiks going to come. If you don't pay him, he's coming. If you pay him, he won't. That's not genuine. That's not organic. That is, he's extorting these people, and he's doing it gleefully, right? So you got to understand, Meek, you didn't pay him, and you went to war with him. Meek didn't learn from that Twitter fingers line, because every single year, Meek has 5 to 6 suspect posts that he shouldn't write, or he's coming at somebody, he's angry, he's mad. It's just like Wale. Too much time on their hands, saying too much on Twitter. So Meek saying too much on Twitter. He had a couple tweets about this, that, and the third. Every time he wanted to say something about Ak, he said something. So you went against a troll, and the troll won. Knocked your streams down 90%, not to mention you was bunny hopping, right? A lot of stuff happened. A lot of stuff happened. Right? So just so you know, yes, Akademiks was very influential in your numbers dropping. He's influential. The market that you're trying to reach listens to him, believe it or not. But also, it was Diddy. Right? It was Diddy. And for a time, it was good to be associated with Diddy, but that came crashing down. Anybody with half a brain could have saw that chilling with Diddy too long, something was bound to happen. Something was bound to happen. He's doing way too much with too many people. He got too much going on. It's too much involved. So anybody smart would have known, I'm going to steer clear of this, and I'm not going to get too many videos and pictures with this guy. Damn sure ain't going to be wearing matching outfits with the guy. And for God's sake, I'm not going to have him calling me daddy or nothing crazy online. I think Meek posted some of this stuff himself. Right? Spark the Doc said cold, wet French fries at the Diddy pool picture was insane. That didn't help your streaming numbers, gang. I'm just going to be honest. So, Meek, you don't got to use Claude for that, right? Unless you're trying to write a movie script or something, you ain't got to use Claude for that. Okay? So that's what Meek said. He thinks that Akademiks cost him a 90% drop in streams, and Akademiks has yet to respond. All right? And I'm going to show you a picture. So this right here is right here on the, they took it down. So there was a picture of him in matching outfits with Diddy. I don't see it. Oh, it's right there. They got a picture with him and Diddy and a midget or something. Like, it's like, gang, what we doing? Just you put yourself in compromising positions. All right? And I'm going to leave it at that, man. Meek, you'll be all right. He says the streams have recovered. He makes a lot of money. I don't even know why he felt the need to jump into that convo in the first place. Right? Miss Curiosity, how I missed the morning me and gang. YouTube does not send me notifications. I don't know what's going on. A lot of people are saying they're not getting the notifications. Even wifey says that. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I have no answer. I told you they're trying to get me out of here anyway, gang. It's a powerful forces at work, gang. They want me out of here, gang. We'll see how much longer I got. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be in these YouTube streets. I got a long life, but I don't know about on these platforms, gang. They're not showing my notifications. They're slowing down my followers. They're slowing down all of the people that could access the shit. It's getting gang. People tell me all the time, Charles, they unsubscribed me more than once from your channel. They're like, Charles, I used to be subscribed to you. I had to subscribe twice. I don't know what's happening, gang. I think there's something going on. We don't know, especially the YouTubers that do what I do. We don't know what's actually going on, but it's a lot of funny business. So I stopped paying attention. I look at it daily, but I can't worry about it. I just keep doing what I do. But it is funny business where your notifications ain't coming, your subscribers keep going down and go up, then go down, go up, down, and people are getting unsubscribed. I went to channels that I was subscribed to, to see that I wasn't subscribed. So I'm like, I don't know, right? Storm said reset the notification. That might work. So I don't know, right? I just wake up and do my job. Today I'm on late for you guys today. So for the West Coast people, we here late, right? We started at 11 today. So we're going back into the lawsuit world. The next story, this going to be a lawsuit story. Another lawsuit story. Another lawsuit has been dismissed. And this time, right? This time, Jay-Z's involved. Now, as you all know, Jay-Z has been fighting Tony Busby ever since he allowed that erroneous case to be filed about him and Diddy assaulting a woman when she was a minor after the VMA Awards, right? And I can't remember what year it was supposed to be, 2003, I think. And the story was so erroneous, it didn't make any sense, right? And she went and did an interview, ill-advised interview, and she blew up the whole story for Tony Busby, who was trying to get a bag, right? So Jay-Z has put up a lawsuit, right, against Tony Busby, and Tony Busby fought back. So let me read what happened, because I thought Tony Busby was going to lose. But Tony Busby lawsuits, hold on, gang. Give me a sec. Tony Busby lawsuit apparently against Jay didn't work out for him. Let me read this and have a conversation. All right. Tony Busby and Jay-Z's legal battle is on the verge of collapsing. After a judge in Texas struck down Busby's lawsuits. Back in 2024, Tony Busby brought forth a civil lawsuit against Jay-Z, accusing him of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl alongside Diddy at the 2000s. Okay, I was wrong. The 2000, not 2003, because the story she told, I believe, would have matched up with the 2003 awards. But she said it was the 2000 awards, and the people at the 2000 awards in her story weren't even at the people weren't even at that particular awards party. All right. Jay-Z was quick to deny the allegations, calling it blackmail. Eventually, the lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice when Jane Doe withdrew her claims. While Jay-Z secured a legal win in the civil case, his battle against Tony Busby was far from over. In December of 2024, Jay-Z's law firm, Quinn Emanuel and Marcy Croft, named as plaintiffs in yet a civil lawsuit. All right. Long story short, Busby accused them of using intimidation and bribery to file lawsuits against Tony Busby. So at that point, Tony Busby was saying that he was using a whole bunch of unscrupulous tactics, and he wanted to see him in court, right? So that case has been dismissed. That's basically what happens. Today is a victory. The frivolous, fictitious, and appalling allegations have been dismissed, Rock Nation wrote, and pretty much that thing is done. Busby claims former clients were filing suits against him because of the intimidation they face at the hands of Rock Nation and Jay-Z. So that lawsuit that Busby put against Jay-Z has been dropped. That's over, and he can't refile it apparently. So Jay-Z's lawsuit against Busby was dropped, trying to get him disbarred. And Busby's lawsuit against Jay-Z was dropped because they felt that there wasn't any information. I remember people online going crazy saying, look at Rock Nation, look what they do. They intimidated this girl to stop her lawsuit, to give up, and the judge just threw it out. So There was no evidence of that, right? And the Journey just brought up Meek Mill's leak audio didn't help either. It didn't. It didn't. All right. So Chris said she was 13 in 2000, not 2003. Right. She was 13 in 2000, but the people she named, she said she went to the VMAs and there was this rock group, she said, was after the VMAs at the after party. There was a rock band. She said when she went to Diddy's after party, she sat down on the couch and there were various artists there. And one of the artists talking to her was in a rock band. I don't remember. It's a white guy. I don't remember his name. But that guy didn't even attend the VMA parties that year. He attended it in 2003. So like Tessa Tales was saying, maybe the girl got the year wrong because she was describing a guy who was at the 2003 party. So they were trying to say the story matched up if she said 2003. But she didn't. She said 2000. So that's what I was saying about 2003. They were saying that particular guy she claimed she was talking to, the whole story was bogus. But she claimed she was talking to some guy who couldn't have been at that party because he was on tour in 2000. So the whole story fell apart. That's how 2003 became part of the conversation, because that particular guy was at the VMAs in 03, if that makes sense, right? Trill City said Meek Mill was definitely defamed. I remember so many of his diehard fans arguing with people and promoting him for free. They fell back out of embarrassment. Yeah, he did get hit. Listen, it was a lot of stuff going on with Meek. Some stuff was his fault, some stuff wasn't. All right. I think that's all the stories we got for today, gang. We talked about enough lawsuits, right? There's a lot going on. I think I'm going to come back later about this T.I. Now T.I. wants to say, I got a video coming about this, man. T.I. made all this noise about not getting in the Verzuz with, because 50 Cent turned him down for the Verzuz. And now he's out here saying he don't want to do Verzuz. Verzuz is broke people activity. I'm going to get into that on another video, gang. I'm poor people activity is what he's calling it. I don't understand, gang. Like, he made a lot of noise about this 50 Cent won't battle me in the Verzuz. He made a whole lot of noise about that. And now he's above Verzuz because it's poor people activity. We were rooting for you, Tip. We were rooting for you and your kids. You guys were the heroes this last spring. He went on Joe Budden's show and changed his narrative. He said, quote, I don't want to indulge in that side of life no more. I ain't even interested, bro. Ain't no money over there in that shit. That's poor people activity. T.I. told the host of Joe Budden. I'm 45. What I'm doing going back and forth with a nigga like, man, like for what, bro? Guys, you guys got better memories than me. I'm gonna ask the chat. You guys got way better memories than me. I try to remember stuff. So I'm gonna ask you. Don't it feel like this 50 Cent thing probably was 4 weeks ago? Like, at best. I don't even say 8 just to be fair. Right? 2 months ago. That his whole family was going at 50 Cent, which started over Verzuz. Please, somebody in the chat. Gang, I don't get everything right. I know this. I don't get everything right. Some stuff, my memory's foggy. Right? My memory's foggy on some things. Didn't they start an entire war? His whole family. Because he put up Tiny or something. He did something about, and King was like, my mama, you ain't talking about my mama, this, that, and the third. But didn't it all start over the Verzuz? Rizzo said about 2-3 months ago. So I'll even go 3 months. Let's say it was 3 months ago. Right? Let's say 3 months. I'll give him 3 months. 3 months. 3 months ago. I see I'm in the building. 3 months ago, this guy was doing an entire campaign. Ain't this what spawned the diss records that he made? Ain't this what spawned some of his big records of this year? One of the records that he dropped was like one of the like biggest record that of the year. All of that spawned over this supposed slight that 50 wouldn't battle him in the verses. I don't understand this game. Poet said it was the end of February. March, April, May. We in June. End of February. It's almost end of June. So by that time, in this last 3-4 months tops, T.I. whole stance has gone from 50 don't want to see me on the Verzuz stage. You lied. You told me you would do it and you backed away. You're scared. To now it's broke people activities. I'm 45. I don't want nothing to do with it. Trill is not the point. Trill said he has a point. Verzuz doesn't even get watched live no more. People just watch the clip. Well, a lot of people, I'm going to be honest. Way more people than I thought would be watching that Cash Money. That thing had crazy numbers. I was truly surprised. I was truly surprised. And the last one, Tyrese versus, who was Tyrese versus? Was it Tank? I was seriously surprised at those numbers. And Verzuz is dead. They killed Verzuz. I say it all the time. But the clips do numbers and the conversation is crazy. And T.I. was begging for it a few months ago. Now it's broke people activities. It does not make any sense how you switch your tune in 4 months. Right? It switched drastically. Now he's too big bone and brolic. He's too good for it now. Something ain't right. First of all, most of the people that do Verzuz is 45, 50. Right? I don't understand. Right? It's an old man's thing. So how you too old for Verzuz when it's supposed to be celebrating older people in the culture? How are you too old for it when you was begging for it? I think some people cope with stuff like that. They realize nobody wants to do it with me anyway. People that ain't on my level, people that's on my level don't want to do it. And the people that will do it ain't on my level. When he couldn't get the guys he felt would have made a good matchup, he turned on it all together, and now it's broke people stuff. I can't understand why. And now he's making his last album. Now he's retiring, right? Allegedly. We know how this last album stuff. Game retired with the last album. Now he got a new album coming out. Like Daughter, Like Son, something like the documentary 3. Like Daughter, Like Son. I mean, like Daughter, Like Dad, something like that. Sorry. Like Daughter, Like Dad, something like that. So we know how this last album stuff works. But it's supposed to be T.I.'s last album. So now you too big bone and brolic for Verzuz. You're going to drop your last album and you're moving on to what? Comedy? This is why people have trouble believing rappers. I'm just going to be honest. This is why people have struggled with believing what rappers say. Right? Hove gas is all up. Black Album's supposed to be the last album. Everybody got prepared. What the hell are you waiting for? We got prepared. We dove in. He did a tour of all things. He did our last album. Nope, it wasn't. We don't believe him. We don't believe rappers no more. Oh, I said it wrong. Okay. I got the title wrong. One Eye Layer is the title of the game album. Is like father, like daughter. What I said, like daughter, like father. I said it wrong. It's like father, like daughter. That's going to be Game's new album, Documentary 3. Right? I wonder if there's any Dre beats on there. Can you have a documentary without Dre beats? And has Dre forgiven the Game for the antics? At this point, you expect antics from Game. So maybe Dre never even fed into it because he know he's going to come crawling back in. Not crawling, but talking to him again. Right? Chris Man said Reasonable Doubt was supposed to be the last, and so was Volume 2. Hard Knock Life. Facts. So, T.I., man, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about this. We're going to, now we got to place you in a different category of a guy who we can't believe what he says no more, because that's weird. Because you really wanted that Verzuz 4 months ago. And now it's broke people activity. If you didn't say it out in the open, I wouldn't even believe it that he actually said it. It's so absolutely ridiculous, right? Poison Ivy said, with all due respect, Tip, the Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind, and Fire did a Verzuz. They are legends. You are not bigger than the program. That is a fact. Babyface did Verzuz. A lot of legendary people did Verzuz. Tip just kind of, I think he's just a little, he gave up on the idea because nobody wants to do it with him. That he can really say this is a good matchup. And so now that he can't get a good matchup, now he don't want to do it at all. Take my ball and go home type stuff. Trill said, only in hip-hop genre do they force you out because of age. Fact. Other genres too until they die. Poet said, ever since I saw that video of the Game at Kendrick's swearing-in ceremony, like I can't take him serious. He was so desperate to insert himself into the moment that wasn't about him. That's a fact. So listen. That's all I got, gang. I'm going to get out of here. All right. I appreciate you guys tapping in. Another one in the books. And I appreciate everybody that's watching, okay? So listen, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
I need the whole left side. Every seat by the window. I need the whole back of the bus. Everybody, move on.
Hold up, gang. My bad. I didn't mean to hit that. I'm going to catch you guys tomorrow. All right? And head on over to black-yeti.com. Let them know who sent you. They ship all over the continental U.S. I got a Patreon account. Go over to my Patreon. You can join that for free. Also, every Wednesday night, we go live on the West Show. Me, TJ, and Fliz. We will not be here tomorrow night. All right, I got to wait to attend. So we will not be here tomorrow night. So we will not be doing the West Show tomorrow night. I might record something and put it up. I might record something in the place of that and let it ride. So you guys will have some content for tomorrow night. I'm really debating that. So that might happen. Right. I got some stuff I want to discuss and it won't be live. It'll play like it's live, but it won't be live. All right. So gang, listen, I appreciate you guys watching. And this time I am leaving for the day and I got some videos I'm put up, some stuff to talk about later on in the afternoon. All right. All right. Listen, I appreciate you guys for tapping in. I'll be back tomorrow. All right. Water in my cup, swagoo. All right. So it is what it is. I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.
I need the whole left side. Every seat by the window. I need the whole back of the bus. Everybody, move over. You too. Slide your feet over. Everything by this window. I need this. All these seats. Move over. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you. Look. He deserve an EGOT, he hot, color like a peacock. Idiot, slapper, scrapper, mad rapper, D-dot. Bad dopper, clapper, bad rapper. 3 shots, lethal weapons, lethal injections throughout your T-top. JFK smiling down through the treetops. Like hold your head, my nigga, wait for the beat drop. Old niggas wagging fingers like it's bebop. Cowboys and girls whistling world like it's teapots. My pen to make your arm heavy G-shot. While your mom trolling steady.